The topic of our video today is as timeless as it is thought-provoking: the debate on the search for truth. Have you ever stopped to wonder if truth is something absolute or if it changes depending on perspective? This question will guide us as we dive into two fascinating viewpoints: the relativism of the Sophists and the Socratic ideal of truth. But why does this matter today? In a world overflowing with opinions, personal truths, and the constant bombardment of fake news, this debate is more relevant than ever. It pushes us to examine the ethical foundations that shape our coexistence and challenges us to think critically about what we accept as true. Is truth something we construct, or is it something we discover? What role does dialogue play in uncovering it? Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself questioning not only what you believe but how you arrived at those beliefs. Let's explore together. During a period of crisis and war, Athenian democracy faced great challenges, which led to an environment of uncertainty and questioning. In this context, the Sophists emerged, who, in addition to being masters of rhetoric and oratory, argued that truth was relative and depended on individual perspective. In contrast, Socrates emerged as a critical voice, seeking universal truth and absolute ethical values. This tension between the ideas of the Sophists and the Socratic search for moral clarity reflected Athenian society's struggle to find meaning and stability in turbulent times. When Socrates, in promoting his thoughts, brought men to the center of philosophy, he initiated the anthropological turn. And this movement was based on several questions, the central ones being: what is man and his values? What does it mean to live a well-lived life? What is beauty and ethics? However, before we delve into Socrates' thought, it is worth explaining about the Sophists. The Sophists were masters of the art of persuasion. And in an era of political plurality such as Athenian democracy, the rhetoric and oratory skills they taught were very successful among the Athenian political elite. Gorgias is credited with saying, "The power of speech is like the power of powerful drugs." This means that once an individual has mastered the art of persuasion, he or she can intoxicate the rationality of others. Just as some politicians still do today in the information age. The Sophists have been marked in history by their relativism, that is, the idea that truth depends on one's point of view. They thus questioned the existence of universal truths. Protagoras, in turn, stated that "man is the measure of all things," a statement that indicates that our perceptions shape reality. This idea is especially pertinent today, as algorithms isolate us in information bubbles, making it difficult to dialogue between different views. When our beliefs collide, conflicts arise. While relativism can foster empathy, it can also imprison truth in subjective opinions. To overcome this, it is essential to cultivate dialogue and openness to diverse perspectives, enriching our understanding of the world, and trying to observe a rational truth in everyday situations. By declaring all opinions true, relativism collapses, revealing contradictions and the impossibility of an objective ethical consensus. And when we talk about ethics, it is time to start the debate about Socrates. A restless soul like every philosopher, Socrates dedicated his life to human issues, and his search for truth transformed ethics into a philosophy of life. For him, wisdom begins when we recognize our ignorance. Hence the famous simplification that has survived to our time as, "I only know that I know nothing." Philosophically, this means that we recognize the limitations of our knowledge and are therefore willing to learn more, including about ourselves. Socrates invites us to reflect and dialogue in order to reach the essences of what would be just and virtuous. Understand by essence is something like the fundamental truth that defines the nature of things. The search for this truth is central to Socrates' philosophy and ethics. Socrates developed a method to help people find the essence of things, but we will bring you a special video about this methodology in the future. For now, it is important to understand how the debate about truth can help us think about our current society. Socrates also believed that evil arises from ignorance. He stated that, "The unexamined life is not worth living," which means that we must seek moral meaning in our actions, overcoming superficialities, and building an ethical coexistence in society. To do so, it is necessary to know ourselves and act towards good. Do we lack this disposition for self-knowledge today? Between Socrates and the Sophists, the ethical debate remains, provoking us to ponder, is the truth attainable, or are we hostages of fleeting opinions? Is it possible, in an information age, to get to the essence of things? Or are we increasingly doomed to close ourselves in our bubbles and get trapped in spirals of fake news? So, have we managed to make you think more deeply about the debate between Socrates, the Sophists, and the concept of truth in our modern world? Our goal here wasn't to dictate answers, but to present the ideas and questions born from this timeless philosophical confrontation. By connecting these debates with the current phenomenon of fake news, we aim to show how these ancient discussions remain strikingly relevant today. Now, the next step is in your hands. With your own rationality and critical thinking, take some time to reflect on the ideas we've explored together. How do these philosophical perspectives shape the way you perceive truth in a world flooded with misinformation? What role do you think dialogue, reason, and ethical considerations play in addressing the challenges we face today? We encourage you not just to absorb what you've heard but to actively engage with it. Share your thoughts in the comments, spark a discussion, and continue this journey of reflection. After all, philosophy isn't just about answers, it's about asking better questions. The power to seek truth lies within you. If you found this topic important, leave a like, share it with anyone who needs to understand more about truth and misinformation, and tell us in the comments, how do you view fake news and the search for truth today? Let's continue this debate together. See you in the next video.